Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 9 o'clock on a Monday, which means it's time for a 5x5. Now, this is where I take 5 subjects related to magic. I spend 5 minutes talking about each subject and then move on to the next subject. It's always quick. It's always snappy. You never know what you're gonna get. Now, today I'm going to be doing a performer special. Now, if you don't know what those are, I've done a few of them now. The whole idea is that I take a performer that I really like. I show you 5 live performances of that person performing in the real world, and then I tell you why I think that their performances are so awesome and what we can learn from watching them. And today I'm going to be talking to you about one of the busiest working pros in America, and that is the one and only Adam Wilber. Now, if you don't know who Adam Wilber is, he has literally written the book on creating magic, producing magic, and also performing at a very high level. He has full pen and teller. He travels the world performing corporate close-up. He's also the managing director of Illusionist and was responsible for one of their biggest periods. He's also the head of Vulpine Creations, and as part of Vulpine Creations, he has created magic that is performed by magicians all over the world, and he has a very interesting and unique style that has made him very, very successful. And in this video, we're going to be talking about 5 routines of his, having a look at them, and then talking about what we can learn from watching Adam. So we're going to start off straight away by watching Adam perform. This was all of the routines that I've actually presented here are from various different Magic Castle acts that Adam has done over the years. And this first particular routine is his opener in his 2017 Magic Castle act. So this is his opener. Now, we all know that openers have to be quick, they have to be visual, and that's what you're going to get here. Listen to the audience reaction. Let's have a look at this routine first of all.
Yes.
Woo!
Oh, great. Great job, yeah. Oh, you did it! Good job!
All right. So that is the start of the show. All right, there we go. There's the start.
Yeah.
Thank you. I gotta be honest. If I don't jump up and turn this off,
Okay, what an incredible opener. Now, Adam is, I'm lucky to have Adam as one of the experts on the net tricks. And he's got like his own section on the net tricks. There's like 20 or 30 routines on there that Adam has actually done. This is one of those routines. So this routine that you just saw, that he used to open his Magic Castle Act in 2017, he actually teaches this on the net tricks. And it's basically his handling of the mental photography deck. Now, there's a few things that I want to say about this. So first of all, a lot of magicians that I've spoken to over the years, they kind of shit on the mental photography deck a little bit. It's like, oh, well, it's that old thing, isn't it? You know, nobody does that anymore. Why would you want to do the mental photography deck? It's as old as the hills. The mental photography deck is absolutely amazing when done correctly. It's a blank deck of cards that prints itself right in front of the spectator's eyes and then turns blank again. And the way that most people perform it is, look, I've got these blank cards. Cut. Look, now I've got faces. Riffle. Look, cut. Now they're blank again. Thanks very much. Let's move on. And you perform it like that, then yeah, it's going to be like kind of like, well, okay, yeah, it's good. It's whatever. I've always been a big advocate, and I've spoken many, many times in lectures on my various different projects and on this YouTube channel about the importance of making a routine your own and taking something that everybody does and literally going in a different direction with it. And that's what we have with this routine. What we have is Adam's turned this into a theatrical piece of theatre. So rather than just like the way that everybody does the mental photography deck, look at the pacing and looking at the structure of this deck. It's the same deck as everyone else does, but it comes across as something completely different. There's moments and beats in the routine that are there because he really understands the importance of pacing, he really understands the importance of structure, and he really understands the importance of routining, and that's what you see here. The other thing is, don't be afraid to use decks that are kind of considered old hat. I use invisible decks all the time, and various other decks. Bengali decks is another example. Don't be afraid to use these decks as long as you can shed a new light on them and you can do them in a different way. You know, they're just as good now as they were the first time that they were created, right? And you see that with this routine. It is exceptional. Also, the other thing that you learn from watching this is this is his opener. We've talked on this channel before about an opener needs to be strong, it needs to be quick, it needs to be visual, it needs to grab people's attention. That is what you have here. This is, in essence, a theatrical piece of close-up magic. And honestly, by the time you finish this 3-minute performance, everybody is sold on you, on what you can do, and what you're able to do. So the first routine I wanted to highlight was this, the opener of his act. It shows just how much magic you can get out of a typical standard gaff deck if you think about it, and you think about ways of presenting that in a very different way. So the next routine we're going to be looking at is a routine that Adam created and sold through Vulpine Productions, and it was very, very popular, but I think it flew under the radar a little bit. And I love it when I see creators actually performing their own magic in the real world. And what we have here is a different time that Adam's at the Magic Castle, and he's choosing to include in his performance a trick that he's actually marketed, and it shows just how just how confident he is in his own material. Adam has always been the sort of person that only releases working magic. He's not going to release any pipe dreams. He's not going to release anything that doesn't work. If you look at Vulpine's catalogue, everything that's ever come out is stuff that works in the real world for real people. And this is no difference. Let's have a look at color psychology.
So when I was 9 years old, I had a doctor's appointment. My mother said, hey, it's time to go to the doctor's. And I got really nervous because I was 9 years old. And to a 9-year-old, the doctor's means you're getting a shot. Scared the heck out of me. She said, no, it's not that kind of doctor. It's an optometrist. They're going to check your eyes. Cool. Went to the doctor, had my appointment. He said, hey, you have 20/20 vision. Wasn't quite sure we were going to math class. Not sure what that means, but cool. He said, no, it means your vision is perfect. With one caveat. You're pretty severely colorblind. I looked at him and said, well, that came out of the purple. But it's very true. I am severely colorblind. I was told that at 9 years old. And as I was leaving, he said, it's not going to affect your life except for one thing. You can't legally be a helicopter pilot if you're colorblind. They use a lot of color-coded switches. So if you're documented colorblind in the US, you can't be a helicopter pilot. Now, at 9 years old, I've never wanted to be a helicopter pilot until that very conversation. And then that's all I wanted to be, obviously. Unfortunately, I did not get my helicopter pilot license, but what I did do is invent a magic trick based off of color just to stick it to my optometrist. And color is actually a really interesting thing. Color is a lot of built-in psychology. For instance, and this is all true, you can Google this. If you often go to fast food restaurants, you'll notice they use red a lot. The color red makes us hungry. The color in a birthing ward, it's almost always light blue on the walls because that's a very calming color. Green is known to inspire creativity, and yellow, caution. These are things that are built into us as humans. We don't learn them and we can't unlearn them. What that means is if I know a little bit about somebody, I'll know exactly what color they're going to pick. So what I have are 4 different colored wallets. Now, anyone who knows about color blindness, I can tell that these are red and green because there's such drastic shade differences. I could tell. It's the mixing of them. So I know that's the green. I know that's the red one. I know that's green, red, blue, and yellow. Now, each wallet also has a slip of paper that corresponds to the color of the wallet. Okay? So let's try here. Hey, sir, that's a great suit.
Thank you.
What's your first name?
Steve.
Hey, Steve. Steve, what are you passionate about in life? What excites you in life?
Art.
Art? Awesome. Any specific kind? Oil painting, poetry, or all of it?
Watercolor.
Watercolor. Cool. I just saw a video on a watercolor artist. It's phenomenal stuff. I think this is going to work perfectly. If I was to tell you, now don't let me influence you, just because cool people always pick green doesn't mean you have to, okay? But genuinely free choice of color, what color would you pick?
Blue.
I knew it. Perfect. Perfect. Excuse my reach. I'm going to reach right past you. If you take the slip of paper out, just the slip of paper, don't read it just yet. Yep, pull it out. We'll save that for the end. We call that building dramatic suspense. Right. Moving down the line. Hi, what's your name?
Madeline?
Hi, Madeline. How are you?
Good.
You having a good time?
Yeah.
Awesome. Are you from the California area? No? Where are you from?
Shanghai.
Shanghai? Awesome. That's a place I really want to go one day. What do you do for work? What's your profession?
I'm a dentist.
A dentist. Okay. Do you enjoy it, helping people?
Oh, yeah, it's
Awesome.
fine.
She's like, I'll say yes, but come on. Let's get on with the show, dude.
Some days.
Which color do you like? Green?
Yellow.
Yellow. Perfect. Perfect. If you take the yellow slip out, hold on to that. We'll read it in just a moment. 2 down. I'm going to have 1 more color selected and 1 color will be for me. I'm going to have you help me if you don't mind.
Okay.
What are you passionate about in life? What do you really get excited about in life?
Creating things.
Awesome. I love creativity. I think creativity is the magic pill that most people need. If we're creating something when we're dead and gone, it means we've left something to the rest of the world. I love creativity, especially creating things. So I think this is going to work great. Red or green?
Red.
Perfect. I knew it. Excuse my reach, okay? Pull the red slip of paper out, and we'll read that just at the end. So far, so what, right? I had some colors picked. Now, I'm left with green. I'm not ignorant to the fact that being a magician, I might be a little bit hard to trust. You look trustworthy, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to give you my green slip. You'll hold on to that for a second. We'll read that at the end. Now, I did ask a few questions to read some personalities, but I did not influence your color decision. You really had a free choice. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Excellent. And, sir, what color did you pick again?
Blue.
Blue? And you picked?
Red.
Red, and you picked yellow. Would you guys open your slips of paper, and we'll start with you, sir, in a nice, loud, clear voice. What does your slip say?
Sorry.
I will pick blue.
What does yours say?
I will pick red.
What does yours say?
Pick yellow.
3 for 3, ladies and gentlemen. Kind of waves through the audience a little bit. Yeah, yeah. A couple of them going, is that good? Am I wrong? The only reason you haven't really reacted is you haven't seen my favorite part of the trick. See, you guys picked 3 colors, leaving me with 1. I gave my trusty friend here that 1. What color did they leave me? Green.
Green.
If you could open that slip and read the very first line in a nice, loud, clear voice, please.
The man will pick blue.
Blue. Next line.
The woman will pick yellow.
Yellow.
The person with glasses will pick red.
Red. Leaving me with
I will be left with green.
4 for 4. Right on. Very good.
Now, obviously, this is Adam's variation of a Martin Lewis trick, but it's so strong. I think that magic is best when it's interactive, when people interact with the performer. And if you can get an entire room full of people interacting with you, all the better. I love the fact that this routine allows you to interact with everybody in the audience. And rather than having to bring somebody up on stage, you can interact with them whilst they're sitting comfortably in their own seat. The use of color really adds to this routine. I think that one of the most important things is hook lines and what you say to hook people's attention, to grab people and bring them into your performance. And the hook about colors and psychology and how colors will influence you without even realizing it. I think that's just such a wonderful premise that really just opens up so many possibilities from a performance point of view. And it's mentalism at the end of the day. What Adam's doing here is mentalism. And you'll see in the various different videos I'm sharing with you, Adam is not shy of doing mentalism and magic in the same set. I've spoken to so many magicians that say, well, you can only do magic or you can only do mentalism. And I think it's really down to the individual. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. And this is a perfect example. So color psychology, a fantastic routine, really, really strong. Now, the next routine we're going to have a look at is Adam's cups and balls routine. And he's using his coffee, cups and beans set. Now, if you haven't seen this set got released last year. It is probably the definitive work on the cups and balls. It uses coffee cups and it uses beans instead of cups and balls. And it is an incredible routine. When he did this in his latest Magic Castle act, he literally closed his show with this performance, which tells you everything that you need to know. I'm not going to say any more. Let's have a look at it.
So I'm going to share with you two of my all-time favorite things in the world. Now, I'm a father of two. I have two amazing children. I have a 7-year-old daughter named Alina, and she's a social butterfly. She's energetic and boisterous and funny and outgoing. And then I have a 9-year-old son named Carter. He's very shy, but he's very intelligent. He's very empathetic. They are my two favorite things in the world. Excluding them, the next two favorite things are coffee and magic. Coffee for good reason. The best conversation I ever had in my life was over a cup of coffee, but also the worst and hardest conversation I ever had in my life was also over a cup of coffee. A friend of mine told me a long time ago, you're going to get into life and you'll sort of meet people that inherently, okay, they're going to rub me the wrong way. So you meet someone and within a few seconds of a conversation, that's not the kind of person you like to converse with, and you try and see yourself out of that conversation. He said to me, challenge yourself every time that happens to actually converse with this person. See what they have to say. See what you could say to them. But listen, because those are the people that are usually put in your life to teach you the biggest lessons you'll ever learn. And I didn't think much of it until I started implementing it. And it is very true. The people that I usually would try and push away for whatever reason have taught me the biggest lessons in life. That's where the inspiration for this whole thing comes from. Sitting down with a stranger and having a cup of coffee. And of course, magic. Anybody notice that New Hampshire people spell fundamentals with an R? Yeah? We call it fundamentals. No, that's why I do magic, because I'm a much better magician than a speller. But the fundamentals of magic are a really interesting thing. See, every magic trick in the world can fall into one of those 5 categories. Everything you see here tonight will fall into one of those 5 fundamentals. What I'm about to show you is a variation of a trick called the cups and balls. The cups and balls is a very unique trick because it encompasses all of the fundamentals into one trick. Very rare for a magic trick to do that. Most of the time it's 1 or 2. So what I'm going to attempt to do is show you every fundamental of magic using my $2 stir spoon Amazon magical wand and the fundamentals. All right, we'll start at the beginning, which is the appearance of something. If I draw your attention to the top of the bottom cup, something magical should appear, like a little coffee bean, a magical coffee bean. Yeah. Now this trick doesn't use 1, it uses 3. 3 beans, 3 cups, and a little wand. If we move down the line from the appearance, the next thing is called a disappearance. A disappearance is where we take one of the beans and we make it disappear. We'll do that again, at least until you like it. We'll take the next bean, much the same. With a tap, that bean goes too. That's bean 1 and 2. The third's my favorite because you're going to see the second that the third bean disappears. It's on 3, 1, 2, and 3. They don't go far. They go back under. Ooh, there it comes. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you very much. Now, the next fundamental is called a transposition. Let me explain. If I put one bean under each cup, so each cup gets its own bean. A transposition means going from here to there without you seeing. Looks like this. Magically steal a bean. This is going to seem weird, but could you pull that bean off for me? Perfect. And if you could toss it right into this cup. Unreal. Vanishes from here, and a transposition over to here. That applause is for you. Well, now, a friend of mine said, you know what, Adam, you really should never repeat the same trick. For instance, don't show them a transposition twice in the same routine. The first time is a trick, they say the second time is a lesson. I say hogwash. You can, as long as you switch it up slightly. So again, each cup's going to get its own bean, but I'm not going to make the middle jump over this time. I'm going to take the two end beans. It's as athletic as I get. But both end beans have disappeared and joined in the middle. Transposition. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. And I think the best magic should be really simple to follow. Easy to understand, not a lot of moving parts, not some guy talking really fast and moving quickly. For instance, an empty coffee cup and 3 beans. 1 bean in the cup, 2 beans in the cup, and 1 bean in the pocket. Now, logic says 2 should remain. Magic says 3. I know. I do this all day. 1 bean in the cup, 2 beans in the cup, 1 bean in the pocket. Logic says 2. Magic says 3. I love it. I really do. I love it. Now, if we move down the line, it says defying nature, defying the laws of nature. The easiest way to demonstrate that is to take a solid object and a solid object, pass one solid object right through another solid object, defying the law of nature. That was the correct response. Appreciate that. We could bring it up one step further by taking a whole cup and passing a whole cup right through another cup. One solid through one solid. It's defying the laws of nature, right? Now, I have been accused of lying. It comes with the profession, but we call it silly fibs. That's what we like to call it. Now, some people say, I think that's a silly fib. I don't think that's a $2 stir spoon from Amazon. I think the magic lies in that wand. And it doesn't. Some people say, no, the magic lies in those little Denny's coffee cups. It doesn't lie in the coffee cups. Now, most people say, no, the magic lies in the good-looking guy behind the counter. Most people. But the reality is the magic lies in this shared experience that we all have here. When we're experiencing wonder together, we don't get to think about anything else outside of these walls. We get to think about sitting with strangers and having a shared experience of wonder. What a cool thing, right? The other part of it, which I'd like to keep secret, is I've got magical beans. See, these beans are magic. If I put one of them in my back pocket and I just tap the pocket and tap the cup, that bean comes right back under the cup. It's a magical bean. Actually, all 3 of them are. I can do it again. I place one in the pocket. I tap the pocket. I tap the cup. Sure enough, bean 2 comes right back under the cup as well. Now, I know I move quickly, and sometimes people have been drinking, so they go, as slow as you can. Please, I want to follow. I'll go as slow and as fair as I can. That last bean goes into the pocket. I do have to use the wand, tap the pocket, tap the cup, and just like that, all 3 magical beans come right back. Thank you very much. So the last part is my favorite part. It's the transformation. And it's really what we're all trying to do in life, transform from where we were to where we're going, or who we are today to who we want to be tomorrow. It also ties into the beginning of this presentation. Some of us have a much easier journey in our transformation than others. Some people really don't have support networks of any kind, right? So if we have the ability to help somebody transform into who they want to be, that's what life's about, right? The ability that we have to help somebody else. And I'm not talking about buying them a new car or a new house. That's great if you have that ability. But I know a woman who was on the verge of suicide. And the fact that one person opened a door for her, looked her in the eyes, smiled, and said hello, stopped her from doing that because she felt seen. Just a little tiny piece of kindness can go so much further than we would ever imagine. And I know that because it's happened to me, and I've in turn instilled that into other people and seen them blossom from it. It's a really amazing feeling. We can demonstrate it by this little tiny bean. Maybe this bean is somebody that we feel rubs us the wrong way. Well, it's usually the hurt people that are hurting people, right? But on the flip side of that, healed people have the ability to heal people. So maybe we don't want to have a conversation with them, but we stop, check ourselves, and we say, let's give a little bit of compassion, a little bit of love, and a little bit of magic. We can help that little being transform into a bigger, better version of itself. Now, if you missed that one, you might have missed these as well. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the fundamentals of magic, and I'm Adam Wilber. Cheers. So I would like to leave you all with something personally from me to you, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. In all of your endeavors in life, may your cups stay overfilled with love, friendship, happiness, and success.
Well, I mean, what do I say about that? I mean, the cups and balls has always been a super strong routine to perform for real people. The cups and balls has always been something that hits hard. There's, you know, I've seen people say in the past, if you want to consider yourself to be a real magician, you have to learn the cups and the balls. And what Adam is doing here is he's taking a classic of magic, which is the cups and balls, and he's making it way more relatable by using coffee cups, by using stirrers, by using beans. But I want you to listen to his script, because you can tell that he's following a particular script, but he's more than happy to go off script and ad lib at various different points. But if you watch his performance and you listen to what he says, every moment is punctuated. I think that a lot of the time, a lot of magicians have a problem with when they perform, they trivialize certain aspects. They rush through stuff. If you're doing a multi-phase routine, it's like, okay, but that was good, but now I'm going to do this. That was good, now I'm going to do this. The way that he performs this and the way that he speaks and what he says really draws attention to each phase. He maximizes the magic out of each stage, and at no point does it become unimportant or trivial, because everything is laser focused on what he's doing and what he's saying. I especially love the final part. You know, most cups and balls routines will end with the production of the large item, which in this case is the big bean. But he's got this beautiful moment at the end where he talks about, hey, may your life always have your cup runneth over, and he produces all of the beans. One, the scripting behind that is great. Two, the psychology and the routining behind that is great. But three, the way that the loads take place are just perfect. He's using the whole concept of offbeat and onbeat and misdirection in such an intelligent way. Nobody will ever see those loads. Nobody will ever see those loads because the focus is elsewhere and they feel like the trick's over. And before they realize what's happened, you're done. But even at that point, you can show that you're not done. It's beautiful routining. It's beautiful thinking on behalf of Adam. And it's another reason why he's one of the best in the world as far as I'm concerned. If anybody does cups and balls, I would watch this performance back at least 10 times and just listen to what Adam says, look at how he moves, look at how graceful he is, and then adapt that into your own work. Now we're going to move on to a routine from his first Magic Castle act, and this is a perfect example of taking a very simple routine that a lot of people again trivialize and really maximizing it to its nth degree. What we have here is Adam has taken a 4-ace production, and he's taken the last trick of Doc Daly, and he's mushed them together. Let's have a look at this.
Now this deck, this is a little more regular, a little more what people would assume to see out of a deck of cards. We've got a couple jokers, and then all different on one side, all the same on the other. Pretty standard stuff. So as a magician at the Magic Castle in the close-up room who just told you I love sleight of hand with cards, if I was to mix these cards up and produce like the 4 aces, expected. Cool, but expected. Ma'am, what's your name? Mackenzie, nice to meet you. I won't hound on you for your phone. You can relax. Mackenzie, have you ever been the magician in a magic show before? Ooh, first time. I'm going to cut small packets. Just yell out stop when you'd like.
Stop.
Sorry, that's good. Good. We'll leave it there. I'm going to take these and leave them on top like that. In a deck of cards, there's 4 aces. If she found one of the aces, pretty good. But one of the aces is more powerful than the rest. Does anyone know what the most powerful ace is? Yell it out. Ace of spades. How'd she do? Not bad. Good eye. Good eye. Very good. I gotta admit, you're showing off a little bit. I'm gonna show off too. You found the ace of spades. I'll find its mate. That would be the other black ace, the ace of clubs. I cut 12 and 12, then I gotta divide the 3, carry the 1, and if I've done my math, it's all math, right? I should have found ace of clubs. I will be honest, the black aces, those are the easy ones. The red ones are the hard ones because I do them at the same time with one hand. One is here and one is here. Watch carefully. Sound effects help. And And this is nothing more than evidence of a wasted childhood. Now, if these were the red aces, it would be a good trick, but it would only be a Magic Castle miracle if these were in fact the black aces. The table from the start, of course, are the So I'll tell you guys a little bit of a story about how I got into magic. I was 6 years old, and a friend showed me a trick. The magicians in the room will know it. It's called the silk vanish. You put a silk into your hand, silk disappears. Very simple, really good trick. Fooled me bad. I said, show me how it's done. Wouldn't tell me. So I went to the bookstore and I borrowed the book. I went home, I practiced this trick forever, for a month. I got up the courage to show my dad. Now, my dad's an engineer. He's a very logic-minded guy. And at 6 years old, your parents are the smartest people in the world, no matter what they do. So I said, Dad, I want to show you a trick. Put a silk in my hand, it vanished. My dad went, roll your sleeves up. And that moment, that look of astonishment on my dad's face was the most empowering moment of my life. It changed my life. I never looked back. I've been into magic ever since. Fast forward 15 years, I'm in New Orleans. There's a gentleman by the name of John Rockerbomber, very famous magician and author of some of the best card magic books of all time. He had an exclusive meeting, a club called Knights of Sleights. You could only get in if you were invited in by proving yourself with a magic trick. At this time, I thought I was pretty hot stuff. I'd been into magic for a while. I'd envisioned it as I would walk up, hey John, my name's Adam, big fan, nice to meet you, and I would do this beautiful trick smooth as butter. The reality was he was a hero of mine, so it looked a lot more like, hi John, my name's Adam, it's nice to meet you, I'd love to show you a trick, right? Fumbled through it, he was very kind, he let me in the club, and he showed me how to properly do his trick. It's become my favorite card trick, and I'd like to share it with you guys. I believe good card magic should be easy to follow. This trick is a great example because all that's going to happen are the aces are going to go from face up to face down, just like that. I'm not going to turn them like this because that's pretty much just motor skill. Just about everyone, depending on how many trips to the bar you've had. I'm going to do it one at a time, invisibly. And I'll start by showing you all four aces face up. That's the ace of spades face up, the ace of hearts face up, clubs, which is my favorite, face up, and diamonds. They're going to go from face up to face down, but without this motion. Here's the first one. One ace is now face down. Now for the hard part. Take that ace and turn it face up again. Sometimes twice as hard, right? No, okay. We'll go with this. I'll turn it face up, and if I've done my job, that should be one ace is now face down.
Wow.
That's the first. Watch the second ace. Should be two aces have now gone face down.
Oh.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Ma'am, could you extend one finger, please? Thank you for choosing that finger. That's very polite. Can you push that in all the way, please? Ace of diamonds goes in face up. Pretend to take it out. Turn it face down. And push it back in. Perfect.
Yeah.
If this doesn't work, it is not my fault. It's her fault. Okay? Watch carefully. I believe she did her job because that leaves just that ace of clubs face down.
Wow.
Ace of clubs as fair and as slow as I can. It goes in face up. Turn it face down. That should be all four aces. Now that was John's trick. And magicians, we like to throw little kicker endings, we call them. And I said, John, I can one-up that. Check this out. If I reverse that action and just give a shake, one of those aces turns face up again. He was very underwhelmed, much like this audience. Until, of course, I showed him that ace was actually with the 2, 3.
Wow. There you go.
Because when he wasn't working, I cheated. I slipped one ace, 22 cards down. Second ace is 13 from that. That's ace 1 and 2. The third ace we all know is with the 2, the 3, and the 4. To get that fourth ace, we take the third, we rip it.
Now, Adam, I've got most of the footage from this particular video from two Magic Castle acts, one in 2022, 2023, and one in 2017. The only routine that crossed over, in other words, the only routine that was in both acts was the one that you just saw. Now, the last trick of Doc Daly is amazing, but I see a lot of magicians just trivialize over it. They don't do it because they think it's just a very quick moment of magic and they want to move on to something else. What Adam has done here is he's taken the concept of the last trick of Doc Daly, he's taken the concept of a 4-ace production, and he's merged them together into something that honestly is bigger than the sum of its parts. And I've talked about this on the channel all the time, but we should really do that. Okay, you've got this routine, you've got this routine. What would happen if you put these two routines together? Can they become a better trick? What would happen in that regard? What would that look like? If you took this and you took this and you put them together, how would that look? Would that be better? Would that be worse? That's what Adam's done here. And because he's not talked about the thing about the last trick of Doc Daly is they kind of know that there's going to be a change taking place because you've got the 4 kings, you know that there's going to be some sort of transposition or something going on. With this, he's framed the whole thing as a 4-ace production. So you're producing the aces, you're producing the aces, you're producing the aces. Then he's got that lovely moment where he says, hey, if I could tell you I could have the next 2 at the same time, would that be good? Yeah, boom, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it? But that's not good enough for the Magic Castle. Boom. And then you've got that transposition. And rather than being everything about the transposition, rather than framing it so the transposition is the effect, the transposition here then becomes a kicker ending that makes the final production of the other 2 aces even stronger than it would have been because of how he's actually structured that. And I think that there's going to be some people that are going to watch this video and they're going to watch this particular routine and they're going to go, okay, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Because it's not going to fool people. Anybody that's got some experience in magic will know how that's done. But there's one thing knowing about how it's done, and there's another thing knowing why it works the way it does. And how that works and the thinking behind it is actually genius. So we've got one final routine to look at on behalf of Adam Wilber, and this is a true classic of magic. This trick has been around from time began. I believe this is a Paul Harris handling. It might be Jay Sankey, but I'm pretty sure it's Paul Harris. I remember learning this many, many years ago and taking it out of my repertoire. And now watching Adam do that, it makes me want to put it back in. If you don't know what I'm talking about, he's going to perform the linking cards. Let's have a look at this.
For this one, we need 3 cards. Ma'am in the back. What's your name?
Rachel.
Hi, Rachel. Nice to meet you.
Nice to
Rachel,
meet
I'm going to riffle down. You just say stop when you'd like.
Stop.
Right here. We'll cut here, and it's okay if we all see these. A 4, a 2, and a 7. We're going to use just 3 cards to demonstrate marking systems of cheaters. There's 3 marking systems. They get progressively harder. I'll show you the first one. Please keep this secret inside of the room. Otherwise, they're going to kick me out of the club. And I just got here. I don't want to leave yet, okay? The first way they mark cards is putting a little tiny bend in the back of the cards so a trained eye would be able to see it and spot the difference between the marked and the unmarked. It takes about 2 years of practice to get this bend right. And in this light, there's no way you'll see it. The magicians in here might catch this, but you got to take my word for it. See, these are now marked. 2 years of my life there. The next way is what's called a tactile marking system. It's like Braille on the back of a card. I don't even have to see it. I can just feel. When I feel that Braille mark, there's my card. It's about 5 years of my life. You got to put a little tiny hole in the back of these cards. And again, you're just going to have to take my word for this, guys, but there's actually now a hole in these cards. And I can, you know where to look. You can actually feel it. You can come up after the show and feel for yourself. Okay? Now, I will say, no, I can't put the centers back in, so please don't ask. It always gets asked at the end of the trick. Now watch carefully. This is the best way of marking a card. This is called the Las Vegas link, and it's a way of marking 1 card with 2 other cards. We're going to mark the odd card, which is the red card, with the 2 black cards. Watch carefully. Las Vegas link. Think. There it is. Almost looks linked. Sir, pinch that, pull it, but don't pull it off. See that it's actually on there. So this is just an old technical term for this in magic is cheating. Because notice I went like this. That allows me to rip one side of the cards. But if I'm moving like this, you can't see me rip them because my hands are moving so quick. So once they're ripped, I can slide a card on and off. The best part is if I take where they're ripped, if I get it just right, I can show both sides. That rip has healed up.
Wow.
No, it's really healed up. Both sides.
Oh, wow.
Thank you so much.
Now, when I was first getting into magic, this is the trick that everybody was learning. As I say, I can't remember if it was Paul Harris or Jay Sankey. I've even got the name Harry Lorraine on my lips, and I don't know why. Let me know in the comments down below whose this is. But when I first got into magic, everybody was doing this. This is the thing that everybody was doing. And structurally, it's a really great routine because you start off by doing these linking cards, which looks great, and then you break them and take them out, separate them, but then you restore the cards and then everything's examinable. And I love the fact that in order to actually, you know, separate them and give the cards out, you do an extra trick. So the torn and restored is an extra trick that allows you to make everything examinable. It's really clever thinking. But watching Adam Wilber do this made me realize, now I like looking at the classics of magic, I really do, but I forget about some stuff. I forget all the time. I've learned so much over the years and probably forgotten as much as I know. And I look at somebody doing something and I'm like, oh, I used to do that. Why am I not doing that anymore? This is a perfect example. You know, we rush to buy that latest trick. Oh my God, I need to buy this latest trick. This latest trick is what's going to make me famous. I need to buy this latest trick. And we forget about all of the stuff that came around beforehand from years gone by. But it's just as strong as the stuff that came out these days. You know, it really is. And this linking card is no exception. You could go and do this anywhere. If you don't know this routine, it's super practical. It's 3 regular cards from a deck. You're good to go anytime, anywhere. And it looks as good and it plays as strong as what you saw Adam Wilber do there. Why are we not doing it? Why are we racing for the latest trick when there's routines that came out 20, 30 years ago that are just as good as, if not better than, every other trick that comes out these days? I don't know. But maybe we need to spend more time looking at the classics of magic, looking at this set and looking specifically at this trick. That is definitely something that Adam Wilber's doing. But that one there is your final trick in your Adam Wilber Performer Special. So there you go, guys. That's another 5x5 in the bag. Once again, thank you very, very much for joining me. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you like Adam Wilber? What's your favourite Adam Wilber trick? Let me know. There's a lot of stuff that Adam's brought out over the years. There's a lot of stuff that Adam's performed that I haven't even mentioned in this particular video. But there is so much stuff that you can learn from watching and listening to Adam Wilber. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you want to see a Performer Spotlight 5x5 special on somebody else, let me know in the comments down below and I'll start doing the research. If you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. I'm going to be back again tomorrow with another video, so watch out for that. But thank you once again for joining me. My name's Craig and this is Magic TV.